Let's call the August 23rd City Council meeting to order. We'll start with our pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming tonight. We will start with our approval from the August 9th, 2021 regular City Council meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made to approve the minutes of the August 9th, 2021 City Council meeting. Motion made by Lynn, seconded by
I'll second it.
Donnie. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Additions to the agenda.
I have nothing.
Okay. I just have a couple of FYIs that I'll just throw down at the very bottom. Okay. With that,
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented. But
Mo-
you're just doing it by while.
we don't have to add them on, right. Motion's been made by Donnie to approve the agenda as is, seconded by
I'll second.
Kyle. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Very unusual, but there's no planning and zoning request tonight. So we will move right to update on the Third Avenue North project. Bill Zeiden is here with that.
Yeah, good
Therefore,
evening.
Bill.
We don't have too long of an update for you this morning or this evening here, but as you see, there's paving today, so the whole street should be black by now. So that's good news. Moving forward from here, they will continue paving the trail. There's portions of it that were paved today. They'll continue it at some other time. I don't believe they'll be finishing it today at all. I can tell you they won't be finishing it today. I know that for sure.
We're going down to Kamnick now.
So they're moving on. I know they kind of jumped around, so they didn't go straight from one end to the other. So they're working on this upgrade more for it and more of the base for compacting it and everything. So the trail is still going to be worked on. The first lift of all the bituminous on the street is down. At this point, I do not have an update for when the concrete will be coming back yet. That was yet to be scheduled. I know there's some dates that are getting played around with, but hopefully on Wednesday here, we have our regular weekly meeting on Wednesday, so I'll be asking for a date for the next time the concrete will be coming back to town, and they'll be finishing up sidewalks or any driveway aprons or anything that is left. Along with the concrete on the west or east side of Highway 25, then the downtown area there too. So, other than that, I know that the light pole bases, there's a few more to be poured on the east half of the project. Otherwise, I think there's about 5, left to pour on the east side. All the light pole bases will be in. I've yet to hear back from Design Electric of when they'll be able to come back and actually put the poles up. So I'll also hopefully have more information next meeting for that as well. Otherwise, does anybody have any questions?
The tarring.
Yeah.
How many passes of tarring will you do?
How many lifts or passes?
How many times will you be tarring?
So there'll be one more lift.
And when will that be?
That wasn't scheduled yet either. So yeah, usually that's kind of towards the very end because when they do that, they're also going to do the milling on Highway 25.
Okay.
So we will be into the intersection of 3rd Avenue and Highway 25. We're going to be edge milling around the new concrete curb and gutter there, and that way we can taper it in and we can get ADA compliance throughout the curbs there and the ped ramps. So that'll happen. That'll be one of the last things to go on. So
So you don't have a target date for that?
no, not yet for that. Yep.
Because of course everybody's asking the question, when will they be done?
Yeah, they're gonna be done this year. That's the plan. So that's the best I can give you so far. So
Yeah. Okay.
And dry, so they're moving ahead fast. That's
Yeah.
really good compared to wet here. We're not even close.
yep, they are definitely ahead of schedule. I know this lift that they just paved today. This wasn't supposed to happen for another 2 weeks when they originally scheduled it. So it got pushed up quite a bit. So it's moving along pretty good. So
All the dust will stay down. That was one of the complaints everybody was having with.
Yep.
Holy crap, look at all the dirt flying.
Yeah, it's the one downfall of no rain. So for construction, anyways.
They
But
watered it steady.
Yep.
I had a truck, I saw that running back and forth nonstop trying to put some water down and pack it. And
yep.
it's good.
So, all right.
Good to see, good to hear.
Well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Bill.
So,
With the update from the Third Avenue North project, we have the pay application for the Third Avenue North project to the tune of $17,310.76. Any reason or questions on that?
I'll make a motion to pay that bill.
Motion's been paid to pay the pay application for the Third Avenue North project to the tune of $17,310.76. Motion made by Kyle, seconded by
I'll second it.
Donnie. All in favor indicate by stating aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Donation to the Pierz Oktoberfest pass-through for the Pierz Fire Relief Association of $1,500. Just a formality of accepting that on behalf of the Oktoberfest group.
I'll make the motion to go through with that.
Motion's been made by Lynn, seconded by
I'll second it.
Donnie. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Reminder of a city council workshop, budget workshop on August 30th at 5:30 PM. Issue with that is Jackie did inform us at the last council meeting that she will not be able to make that, and Donnie has informed me today that he will not be able to make that.
I can
You
call
call
in,
in.
but I'm up in Walker, so
You're
it's
up in Walker and you're
drive
also
home.
dealing. My question is, do we want to move on with just three of us? Or do we want to try to reschedule when we can get a better attendance there?
I think a better attendance is probably the best.
Especially if
look
we
at
have to go
this.
back and do it again anyway,
Exactly.
go through it with everybody.
I agree.
So,
Bob, remind us of our timelines on that.
so the September 27th meeting will have to finalize the preliminary levy and budget.
Preliminary, right? Yeah.
So we do have two, meetings before, pre-meetings. We could have workshops as well.
we feel that the budget committee, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I think we feel we need one more meeting
Yeah.
to finalize, and then we'd be ready. So maybe we could use that night to
You guys could use the 30th.
do our
keep
meeting,
that
and we're done. And then whenever after that, we want to get together, we're good to roll.
Yeah. Do we want to pick that now, Bob, and try and advertise for that then, or whatever you need to?
The issue is our next council meeting's not until the 13th of September. So we'd want to, if we don't pick it now, then we gotta have so many days and we get pushed back. So
So what's the first Monday in September looking like?
looks
That's
like
Labor Day.
Labor Day to me. Say
I'm
what?
available.
I would be too. So are we thinking like Tuesday, Wednesday that week?
Wednesday, we'd have park board, but that's at 5, so we could go after that.
Wednesday, we have park board at 5. What would that be, the
The
second?
8th.
I also have baseball that night. The 8th? 8th would not be that wouldn't be a good day for me. I'd have Ripsaw at 7.
9th?
The 9th is a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That will work better.
I have fire meeting, but I could miss that
What time's
too.
that at?
7:30.
7:30.
We could do 5:30 and be done by 7:30.
Yeah, and if we're
Can you make-
not,
Can you make?
I can make
5:30?
5:30.
Kyle, can you make 5:30?
5:30 on the 9th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And if we don't get through everything, well, then we just look for another meeting the following week. We still have 2 weeks then.
Yeah. Why don't we tentatively schedule it for that? and we can all take a look at our schedules and.
Do you want to
if we-
make sure Jackie's available?
Yeah, I will. Schedule it for that, for now, and then,
So do we need to make a motion to cancel the,
yeah, let's do that.
Do you want to cancel and reset, or just the one to reschedule?
Reschedule.
We do one just to reschedule, I think
Sure.
would be fine.
I'll make a motion to reschedule the August 30th workshop for September 9th at 5:30.
Motion's made by Kyle to move the August 30th financial workshop from 5:30 to council workshop, I guess we should call it, from 5:30 on August 30th to Thursday, September 9th at 5:30. Seconded by
I'll second that.
Donnie. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Okay, so then we'll do one more finance on the 30th.
We'll do a finance one on our 30th, and that we don't have to schedule. We can just call that.
Yeah,
We'll plan to do one at 5:30 or 6, whatever works for you guys.
5:30 is better for me.
5:30 works for you, Kyle?
yeah. that's
On
fine.
that Monday, the 30th, and hopefully we can wrap up.
And then you guys will get us the information ahead of time, so we have time to look through it.
That should give us.
That'll give
a
us-
week and a half, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Should be enough there, yeah.
yep. Okay. Golf course expansion. A couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, we set aside some funds to nail down some numbers a little bit more accurately. We've been diligently working on that. I did create a spreadsheet with our costs and with what rolls into those costs and what makes them up. I will go through that in an overview. If you have questions, please stop me and ask, or if I'm not being very clear, please let me know. But we're starting with the shaping, seed, and prep work, and what that all includes is all of the shaping, all of the earth moving. We'll get the holes ready for irrigation, we'll get the fairways ready for finishing after irrigation, we'll get the tee boxes shaped, we'll get the greens all done, and we put 200 hours down for that at $75 an hour. We'd pay the
2,000 hours.
2,000 hours, excuse me,
200.
at $75 an hour, and that would take 12 working months. We've decided the best way to go would be with an independent contract and pay by the hour versus by the month or any other way. So that would work. Rock picking, we'll have to rent a rock picker from either a local farmer or a local business establishment or a local engineer that created these rock pickers, and then we might have a little bit of labor with that. We put 10,000 on that. Fuel and service and warranty for the dozer, the bulldozer. We figure about 5 gallons per hour, actually about 4.5 gallons per hour at $2.55, which is a current rate per gallon for diesel fuel on the market right now. At 2,000 hours is 25,000. Of course, we won't be running the dozer all 2,000 hours, so we're estimated a little bit high there. The service agreement, which was in your packet, there was a service agreement for about $9,000, which we would continuously do throughout the time we have the dozer with us. Periodically would be done. We would do a good update of it, do all the greasing and all the mechanical work that needs to be done up front so that we don't have to bring the people out to do it. And then the final part is a warranty. Warranty would be about $2,880 a year. Currently on the dozer we're picked out to purchase, the warranty is covered through March of 2022. So we're good this year on that warranty. So that's why we're looking at 1 year of warranty. If this project expands into the second year, into 2023, we'll negotiate with them on the warranty, depending on how many months we feel we would need it for. Then the finishing off the bulldozer part of it, we'd be purchasing for $125,800. And there was a purchase agreement in the packet, or I think I sent that to you after the fact also, Bob. That would be for 125,800. We feel we can sell that for about 110,000 when we're done with it. And that's comparing other dozers that would have the same number of hours on it that we have on this dozer when we're done with it. And that would be a decrease in our value of $20,000. Irrigation and install and design system. We're back to our 270,000 number. And what we did with that after meeting with Rainbird and with our designer, we're looking at $1,200 per head, 200 heads, and that's based on a head every 25 yards. And with our course being 3,000 yards long, that comes to 120 heads. I'm adding 4 heads per green, so that's 36. And I'm also adding 2 heads per tee, which we would say we have 2 tees out there. There's actually going to be 3 or 4 boxes, but they're really going to be on 2 different tees, like the reds and the blues, or the blues and the golds might be on 1 tee box. So that would get us to about 240,000. I'm putting about $30,000 of fluff in there, if you will, just a 10% overage, allowing us to be a little more aggressive if we need to. Wells and pumps. We did some test drilling out there last Monday and Tuesday. We found water between the number 3 green and the pump house. And we were supposed to have a report back by Monday today. I did call North Star, and they had not gotten that report yet. Today at 1:30, 2 o'clock, they said they would call me as soon as they get it. What that report will tell us exactly how many gallons per minute we can pump. If we feel we need to get at least 80 to 100 would be really nice, gallons per minute there. The people that did the well drilling testing and the people from North Star who looked at the sand, what they do is they take the gravel, the mix that you're digging up, they send it off to a lab and they tell you what you have. They're estimating we could have they think anywhere from 100 to 200 gallons per minute. So we think we have a good spot for a well. I put in there the 60,000. If you look at the 18,000 per well, 5K for a pump, and another 5K to pump it to the holding pond, I put in 60,000. With the conversation the last couple of days, that could very well be cut in half, because I think we'll be able to go with just 1 well.
You're figuring 2 in this bid.
In this bid,
But
I'm
we might
figuring
just do
2,
one. All right.
yes.
Yep.
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 Okay, the pond, we put 20,000 for that. We have not truly gotten an estimate on that yet, but it's just basically expanding the pond. We feel it's probably about a $10,000 project. We're putting $20,000 down. We're comfortable with that. That would be basically doubling the size of the holding pond. On the number 1 fairway, we'd be expanding that to the south. And we've already talked to the soil and water people, and they're on board with what we're looking at doing and everything. Then for greens mixed, I didn't have enough room to put all the calculation down. It's in an email, how many yards per and how many acres. It includes the different types of grasses. And we're looking at basically 103,000, I think it was what it came to, 106,920. And I'm putting in 110,000. The seed mix came to 34,760, and I'm putting in 40,000. So we have a little bit of room to grow or to exceed on each of those. And those are based on average size greens. Until we know exactly the size of the greens and the exact size of some of the fairways, when we get digging out there, the yardage may change. So those are pretty good, comfortable estimates, though. I put $20,000 in for general labor. That labor would be basic labor coming from our current staff. There will be times when they may need to go out there and pick a rock or use a shovel. Hopefully those aren't very many times, and hopefully we have the current staff available to do that. And then consulting fees and design. Scott Hoffman, who has designed the course, who's kind of going to follow through the entire project, I put him in for $38,000. And that's right where he initially was. We had him redo some plans and things of that nature. And then I have $12,000 down for SEH and for permitting. We got SEH involved in our wetland delineation. They went out and they did that. Joel was his name? Joel was out there. Joel went through, walked it through with us. We met with the DNR, we met with the Water and Soil, we met with, who else, Bob? There was another.
A
the
state
Department
agency,
for-
the state soil and water agency.
State Soil and Water. Joel was out there, Scott Hoffman was out there, and we had a few park board members out there. And they've agreed that what Joel had outlined as our wetland was our wetland. So, which is good. I mean, so we didn't have to work any more on that. So we pretty much are over that basic curve right now. Permitting, the only permits we really have left to do is to get a permit to do the well. And the DNR guy was out there as well. He said he's been very good to work with. He will help us with that.
And then the other one is the stormwater permit.
Stormwater, yeah, the stormwater permit, which we have to do anytime we move dirt. We have to basically do a stormwater permit, but we're working on that. I added 30,000 in there for miscellaneous, and we know one of the things that's come up is we have to do some soil protection when we up against the wetlands. We have to put some cover in between them, so that's going to be about 10,000. So, any questions? My timetable is simply, I'd like to get started this fall. If we can get started moving dirt this fall, and it's going to take us a couple of weeks to get the Caterpillar here, and I would like to start immediately once we get that. The goal, the cat's meow goal would be to finish and the seed by the end of next fall, in November of next 2022, and that would allow us to be open for play in, say, May or June of 2023. The other important reason to get started is we have to, the irrigation is a big part of this. And the more, if we can get the bids out for the irrigation this fall, so that we can get that back yet this winter, now the people that are doing the irrigation have us up front, and we can tell them when we need them. It'll be easier for them to bid it. So we can save some money on that bid if we can get that out this fall as well. The rest of the things are things that I know Scott mentioned in the seed has gone up, and he's been told seed will go up. I'm assuming that's because of all the dry weather we had, so people are going to be seeding grass. We can potentially get that put on order already this fall also. So as long as we know when we would use it for. So. Any questions? I think our next step is to continue to move forward with the project, and the first big step of that is to get a Caterpillar on order.
We also need to vote as a council whether or not we're going to continue.
Yes,
That's where we're at right now.
yes. Yep.
I'm not comfortable making this decision without a full council sitting here. It's unfortunate that there's two people missing tonight, and I know you're trying to move on this. I understand that you have timelines, but
There's only one vote missing, though.
she's not here, though.
She is in favor of it.
I didn't hear that from her.
Well, I guess my response to that is, she knew there was a meeting. She could be here. It's not,
Dave, we're not talking about a $100,000 project. This is a $1 million project. I think due diligence is to make sure we're all here voting on it and discussing it.
so.
And again, that's my feeling.
Okay. That,
I mean,
and
I appreciate
understand
you
what
putting
you're
these
saying.
numbers together. You've done a really great job putting these numbers together, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. We've discussed it for 18 months, and Jackie has never indicated to me in any way, shape, or form that she was not in favor of it. I'm sure if she was on the phone, she would be in favor of it. I can't, I hesitate to say, I don't care what it is. We know when the council meetings are, we should be here.
Well, she should be on the
One
phone.
second.
But if we're going to be voting on this, maybe there was a way that we had her on the phone tonight then.
She opted not to call in.
This is not an emergency situation where we have to make a vote on this tonight.
If we delay, we're delaying for another 3 weeks, and we're moving our start date back another month, another 3 weeks. And we don't know that we're going to have everybody at our next council meeting. Somebody else might not be here. I would agree with you, Lynn, if this just came up, but this has been something we've been discussing for 18 months. It's not like
Off and on, yep, I would agree.
this just popped up and,
But I also think we brought other things to the table and discussed things, and as a park board committee, you guys have headed in one direction and one direction only. There's been no other ideas, there's no been other talk, there's nothing else been looked at other than camping and a golf course complex.
well,
and
I do disagree
expanding.
with that, because I don't know, Donnie, maybe you want to address that. We spent a lot of time looking at other things, but that's just my opinion.
We did look at all sorts of things, but we ultimately went with the things that were gonna make the city money,
Potentially.
potentially. Wasn't, we could have said Frisbee golf and potentially made money on that, but when it came down to it, we make money at camping and we make money at our golf course. And that's pretty much what we had, and that's where the gravel pit scenario, as hopefully that comes through, that's our camping to expand.
And what if it doesn't?
Well,
Again,
we
we've promised people when you guys had this public meeting and presented all of this, that was the direction we were going to go. And that was a way to sell this to the citizens. We don't have that in place.
at this point, I guess there's two ways to go. And I'm not talking for Dave or Bob or anybody else. In my mind, there's two ways for us. So way number one is we are hoping that by next week, we hear about our grant. And then possibly, if we get the grant, we'll move forward with buying the gravel pit and starting this process out. In all honesty, as money makes sense, is we have a pretty large CD sitting in the bank that we're getting just under 1% on. If we were to take part of that out and buy the gravel pit and start that process out, we could be turning that, making almost 1% to, if we could make 5% on money, we'd be making 4% more per year.
Okay, but let's go out to Bob's projections. Those CDs won't be there because we're using some of it for the golf course expansion. We are using some of it potentially for the roads, bonding. Those CDs are gone. There's nothing there according to what I read.
It's projected out to 2029.
Yeah.
It definitely goes down. There's no question
Yeah.
about it. The CDs go
We won't
away.
hit that
CDs go
one-
away.
We won't
The
hit the
CDs
one
will be gone.
CD until 2023. But we'll still have, we would still have funds to move forward with purchasing the land if we decided to do that. And the goal will be to get a purchase agreement on the land as soon as we can, and to move forward with the design. Now, even if we get the grant, we won't get that money until 2022. So we would have to, we can sign a purchase agreement with a close date beyond that date. We can also probably work with SEH where they could begin the design in, in payments or something. So I think we can work through that. So, I guess, I would look to see if we move forward or where we go from here tonight.
Well, personally, I don't have a problem if we move forward. I agree that the full council should be here, but, I also agree that Jackie has known about this and that, I don't know how she would vote, but she knew it was coming up, and she
Right.
chose not to be here.
Right.
Or called in.
Right. And she could have easily called in. It's her decision not to.
Yeah.
So
And you're looking for?
I would look for a motion to, move forward with the project, and then I think we would do a second motion to move forward with purchasing the Caterpillar, because that's a big purchase.
Would that be within the scope of this project already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant about making a motion to buy that. That should already be in our first motion to start our golf course. We can do two, that doesn't matter.
Do you think we should do two or one, Bob?
I think we should include moving forward, and then, the same motion can be to buy the dozer.
Yeah.
Because
You-
going forward, if there's pay applications, call it that, I assume we make motions to pay those.
Yeah.
As well, usually.
Yeah, we can decide as we go forward if we want to, we got to be a little careful. We don't want to sit down and have to have a motion to every little thing we do, because
That's
we don't
what it
want to
has to be.
delay any processes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two big contracts that we're working on with our attorney right now is with the shaper, Dan Begonic, and then also with Scott Hoffman.
Yeah.
So those would be finalized.
Yep.
By September 13th.
Yeah, before we'd start. So, I think we should, let's do it in two motions, I think. I think that's what we kind of think is,
That's fine.
so,
And I request a roll call motion, if that's okay with you, on the project. I don't care about the dozer piece of it.
okay,
You want two separate motions? If that's fine with everybody.
okay.
I'll make a motion to start a golf, I don't know how.
Move forward with the
We'll
golf.
move forward with the golf course.
Golf expansion project. Motion's been made by Donnie to move forward with the golf course expansion project. Motion's made by Donnie, seconded
I'll second it.
by Kyle. We'll do a roll call vote. Jackie, or, excuse me, Lynn,
Nay.
Donnie,
Yes,
Kyle,
Yes.
and Dave, yes. Motion carried by a 3-1 vote on a roll call vote. So then a motion to purchase a bulldozer.
I'll make a motion then to take the first step and purchase the dozer.
Motion's been made by Kyle to make a motion to purchase a bulldozer, seconded by
I'll second that.
Donnie. All in favor indicate by stating aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Carried 3-1. Okay.
Can I make one further comment, and then I'll shut up in
Nope.
regards to it?
You don't have to do the second part of that statement, but yeah, you can make a
I
comment.
will make one further comment, and then I will be done with it because it has passed. But I just wanted to go on record that I think we are making a very, very bad decision in the times that we're living in. It's just been pushed down, we got to do this, we got to do this. There's other needs that our city has, and I think all of us took an oath to represent our city and our citizens as a whole, not just a portion. And I have talked to people for and against, and I agree, it's half and half. But I think the people that didn't want it have just as valid point to it. We need housing, we need roads. We have a current complex down there now. My grandkids go down there and can't even play in that park. There are so many twigs. The equipment itself is shot. We've known that for a long time. We've done nothing to make that better. But yet we're going to spend close to $1 million on this. So anyway, I'm done.
All right. Anybody else has a comment? If not, I'll just wrap this up with an FYI. A week from Thursday is the final rock, roll, and stroll for the city of Pierz. That's going to be on Thursday, September
Second.
2nd. Okay, yep, it's Thursday, September 2nd. We need more help there, okay? This particular one, there happens to be the first Friday night football game, so some of the people that have helped in the past are involved with the football game. So we do need 3 more people to volunteer to help. My wife and I will be volunteering to help, and if anybody volunteers as a member of the council, I know you guys have RTO and you have your business, Donnie, we would welcome that, or any city employees as well. We would appreciate any help there. Also, that night is the open house for our food shelf movement. So they're coordinating that with the Rock, Roll, and Stroll, so. That was all I had. That was my FYI for the night. Anybody else have anything?
I have a few things.
Yep, oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
Department report. you
Oh,
forgot
I
to say
skipped.
that.
Yeah,
I think you were just waiting for us 3 to chime in or something else, but
yeah,
the
department
rock
reports.
and roll and stroll brings a lot of people into town. And I don't have a problem with that. I'm trying to get on that list to have people to do the poker run.
Yeah.
Or poker walk.
Linda does that. Linda volunteers for
No,
that.
for coming into my business.
Oh. What does Linda do? Does she,
Linda does the final at whatever.
wherever they're at, she coordinates that, yes.
Where it
Okay.
ends.
Yeah, her and Clean Looking have been doing that since
Since beginning, yep.
so she's missed a couple times this year, but most of it's been to a family death and some other issues, so.
Yep. Yeah, it unbelievable the people that walk the streets. Unbelievable how busy the restaurants are, the bars are, even the businesses, people walking in and out. Good for the city. So it's something I think it's important that we need to keep going. And it's like every other volunteer type thing. It's tough to get people, so. Okay, Bob?
Had a few questions on Oktoberfest Parade. We're still planning to move forward, going down Edward Street and then all the way down 3rd Avenue North for that 1 block to Main Street. It will be paved now, obviously. There's going to be some unfinished areas behind the curb and gutter, but we feel like, talking with Eric, we're going to be okay as far as pedestrians and whatnot, getting the parade entrance through there, so. And then I sent off all the information for the electric study as far as studying our rates to Dave Berg, the consultant. It's taken me a while to do that, but everything is in his hands now, so I'm expecting a month or 2, we'll start seeing some of that study information come back. And then I did attend a meeting in Grand Rapids with the other munis working with Minnesota Power on the contract, and just summarizing, we're looking at better rates and looking at getting that contract before the beginning of the year, so. We would expect, 2 to 3 years of significant savings and then even savings going forward, so. One of the big things is they're gonna pool the demand. So they're gonna take the peak demand of the entire muni group, the 15 munis, and then wherever we're at during that peak is what we're gonna pay. going to be very rare that we would actually be peaking at the same time as the group. So we should see savings, that way as well. Because Minnesota Power just wants to look at that entire group peak when they're selling the power. So, I mean, there's some give and take, but all in all, we think everybody feels like it's a good contract for now. So,
And with that, we are meeting with Minnesota Power tomorrow, or
Wednesday.
Wednesday, at 11 to 1, and we're going to talk about
service territory.
Service territory. What we're attempting to do is to get the new land, the Heman's property, and then the gravel pit if we purchase that. We're hoping to get those under our realm rather than under theirs. We've attempted to get other property within the city that they have. They have just never given us a deal that we feel is respectable. So we aren't going to let this die. We're going to keep pushing it. So don't know how successful we'll be, but
Big
we're
thing
going to
now
try.
is there's no electric use on it.
Correct.
When we were trying to buy over by the industrial park and all of that,
There
that
was,
use is what they were wanting, a bunch
Right.
of money to make off of that.
There was money to be lost.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it wasn't, you couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah.
That's all they said that, just because they knew you couldn't do it, so.
with that said, they haven't jumped up and said, yes, you can have that. So they've still, unfortunately, been very
Part of our
hesitant.
negotiations here now.
Yeah, so. Anything else, Bob?
That's it.
Okay.
Along that same line with Minnesota Power, who watches that our power lines and trees and things of that nature in town?
It's definitely Eric Gaffke, and we definitely need crews coming
Yes.
in.
Yes,
So,
I've noticed too, just walking
yeah.
and seeing there's a few areas, and I'm sure there's more.
For sure, this fall, winter, we could use at least a half a dozen days. I know it got behind last year too,
Yeah.
so.
Good.
That's usually a
So that's on
fall,
his radar.
Oh, for
that's a
sure.
November thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even this time of year when it's dry, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks wonderful to walk there, to stand and look down our project up there with no poles, no light poles, no anything. It looks naked as a jaybird.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Realizing there's gonna be electric poles there unless you can make them hover, which would really be cool. You know, other than that, it looks nice to have the electric poles, the wooden poles gone.
Yes.
And it looks so much cleaner.
That's one thing to keep in mind. This is our system and we need to keep it updated. Those poles were at the end of their life. Those transformers were at the end of their life. And we'll have future opportunities to do stuff like that. So we just got to keep doing it.
But it's definitely a huge improvement.
Yeah.
And I think those people know it now, once they're starting to see it, and it's like,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Nobody likes a project when it's being done. It's an inconvenience. And nobody wants to be inconvenienced.
they don't, some of them, they don't, we added fire hydrants, I think, and so some of them are, well, I got a fire hydrant. You're lucky if you do, because if you have a house fire, they're pumping
Yeah.
right out of that, and it's a lot
Yeah.
closer.
Talk to your fire.
Think about that unless you have a
They don't-
fire.
They don't think about that, or,
Yeah.
or same as the transformer, every yard is, I shouldn't say every yard, but a lot of yards have it. You've got
Right.
one,
Sure.
I've got one.
Yeah.
you know.
Sure.
Do we have to
'em.
worry about anything with Oktoberfest and the different levels of, people tripping and along those lines from a liability standpoint?
It is an active construction zone, so it is signed as an active construction zone. So the way it is that it is not supposed to be people going in there and everything like that. So
But we're permitting it.
that is true. I would just express to use caution walking through that area. There's going to be behind the curb gutter. There will not be sidewalk there, and it will be down because they are going to be prepping it at that time. So they will not be filling that back in up to grade because they will be preparing for concrete coming back in. So yes, there are going to be some tripping hazards. I guess I can't speak for legally how that affects. I guess it's kind
Yeah.
of my area for that.
It will kill us if we would
I just
put
hate to
signs
see
up saying
something
nobody can be
happen.
there. But I mean,
Yeah.
also maybe it's.
Well, I
maybe
don't
it's
think,
Eric and Calvin and maybe even us, anybody that's around for it, to just once in a while be around that area and say, hey, be careful, please. And
yeah,
if Eric is driving down the road or anybody.
Way to warn the homeowners that are in that area that, have the parade coming past their house, just, FYI, this is not gonna be filled in. Please make sure that, the people that are sitting with you and your family,
And
that
your guests. or
your guests are
whoever they
being careful.
Yeah.
We don't wanna see anybody getting hurt.
Yep, we can have markings on site every day. You can go around and talk to the homeowners.
Just so we make an attempt.
We could get more business, Lynn, more sprained ankles.
Well, I'd hate to see a lawsuit for the city, Dave. I worried about my wage.
All right.
Yours is filled in pretty good.
Yep, I'm good there.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn then.
Motion's been made to adjourn by Donnie, seconded by
I'll second.
Kyle. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you all for coming.